Welcome to Next on the Tee with Chris Mascaro, the show where you get the inside access to the best minds in the game. Each week, Chris has the privilege of chatting with top instructors, legendary players, course architects, and industry insiders. If you're looking to improve your game, gain a new perspective, or just hear some incredible golf stories, you are indeed in the right place.
You see, Chris, let me tell you something. I haven't spoken to a press man in my life that is knowledgeable, seriously, as you are. Never.
You do such a great job. It kind of makes me feel good all of a sudden.
You do so much for the game. You're so kind to all of us that are out there in the game. You know, we need more people like you in the game of golf.
Thank you for pressing play. Now, grab your clubs, step up to the tee, and let's get started. This is Next on the Tee.
Hey, folks, welcome into this special bonus edition of Next on the Tee. I'm your host, Chris Mascaro. As always, I appreciate you being here and pressing play, like I say, on this very special edition of the show. As a Pittsburgh guy and someone who is blessed to speak to so many of my Pittsburgh sports heroes, I am humbled to say that this is the 15th time that I've had the privilege to spend some time with my all-time favorite Steeler, Greg Lloyd. If you've ever wondered what Greg is like now or off the field, I'm here to tell you that he's the exact same guy that he was on it. He's intense. He's passionate. He loves the black and gold. Each and every time he has joined me here on this show or in the past on Thursday Night Tailgate with my former co-host Bob Lazzari, Greg has always told it like it is, and that's why he was a member of our Thursday Night Tailgate Guest Hall of Fame. Doesn't sugarcoat a thing. Doesn't pull any punches. He does the best he can not to swear during a segment, which is tough for him to do because he is so passionate about the Steelers, particularly the Steelers defense. He isn't always successful doing that because the defense kind of burns hot within him and burns him when it's not playing very well. He has said that the same high expectations that he's had for his defense back in the mid-90s is the same expectations he has for the defense now. So you'll hear his disappointment over their recent performances, and that they're not living up to his standard or the standard that was set by the defenses of the 70s, like I say, his defenses of the 90s, or that of the Super Bowl teams in the early part of the 2000s. Look, we've all heard and grown kind of tired of Mike Tomlin's "the standard is the standard." Well, Greg has a standard for the Steelers' defenses, and this year's version just isn't living up to anything near it. And Greg doesn't go easy on him either during the course of this conversation. From the lost art of tackling to if you're hopeful to go out and win, that means you haven't put in the work to go out and expect to win. And if he buckled up his chinstrap during practice, that meant he was upset, and look out. Plus, we also talk about rallying to the ball and them yelling, hold him up, when those guys are coming in because they wanted to get an extra lick on the running back or the wide receiver. Look, like I say, Greg bleeds black and gold, and if you do too, you're going to love this segment. So again, thank you for pressing play and being a part of this bonus episode of the show. Buckle your chin strap because it's going to be a heavy hitter. All right, but before we continue and get into the rest of the show, I want to start off by giving a shout out to my great friends over at the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. TribLive.com is the leading news website for Western Pennsylvania with news around the clock. Pittsburgh pro sports coverage, a high school sports network, a podcast network, which you can find Next on the Tee on. So go out and bookmark TribLive.com or download the Trib Live app for free and stay up to date with all the news in Western Pennsylvania and this show. I also want to talk about our friends over at the Pittsburgh Brewing Company and Iron City Beer, a brand that I have loved my whole life and started drinking when I was 21 years old, of course. Whether you're a hacker or a scratcher, the secret to a successful day on the links is knowing when it's time to grab an iron, even if that means keeping it in the bag till the 19th hole. If it's been a while since you've reached for Pittsburgh staple beer, it's time to revisit Iron City. Thanks to their incredible new facility in Creighton, the best-tasting Iron City beer ever made is now available at a course near you. Iron City pairs well with any lie and sky and serves as a friendly reminder that there's always next round. And because it's never too early for chocolate, their double chocolate Bock is back for the season, and it's the perfect companion for a cozy winter evening. Check out all of their wonderful beers and their gift shop online by going to pittsburghbrewing.com. And this year, get ready to experience a game like never before at the Keep, the brand new Bill Bergen and Reese Jones co-designed course at Macklemore. Nestled high atop Lookout Mountain, the Keep offers breathtaking vistas that are made even more spectacular as the autumn colors paint the landscape in rich hues of red, orange, and gold. With its challenging layout and awe-inspiring views, every round here is an unforgettable adventure. Whether you're taking on the signature holes or just soaking in the scenery, the Keep is where your best golf meets nature's finest backdrop. So grab your clubs and join us up at Macklemore. The Keep is open and it's waiting for you. All right, but before we continue and get into the rest of the show, I want to start off by giving a shout out to my great friends over at the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. TribLive.com is the leading news website for Western Pennsylvania with news around the clock. Pittsburgh pro sports coverage, a high school sports network, a podcast network, which you can find next on the T on. So go out and bookmark TribLive.com or download the Trib Live app for free and stay up to date with all the news in Western Pennsylvania and this show. I also want to talk about our friends over at the Pittsburgh Brewing Company and Iron City Beer, a brand that I have loved my whole life and started drinking when I was 21 years old, of course. Whether you're a hacker or a scratcher, the secret to a successful day on the links is knowing when it's time to grab an iron, even if that means keeping it in the bag till the 19th hole. If it's been a while since you've reached for Pittsburgh staple beer, it's time to revisit Iron City. Thanks to their incredible new facility in Creighton, the best-tasting Iron City beer ever made is now available at a course near you. Iron City pairs well with any lie and sky and serves as a friendly reminder that there's always next round. And because it's never too early for chocolate, their double chocolate Bock is back for the season, and it's the perfect companion for a cozy winter evening. Check out all of their wonderful beers and their gift shop online by going to pittsburghbrewing.com. And this year, get ready to experience a game like never before at the Keep, the brand new Bill Bergen and Reese Jones co-designed course at Macklemore. Nestled high atop Lookout Mountain, the Keep offers breathtaking vistas that are made even more spectacular as the autumn colors paint the landscape in rich hues of red, orange, and gold. With its challenging layout and awe-inspiring views, every round here is an unforgettable adventure. Whether you're taking on the signature holes or just soaking in the scenery, the Keep is where your best golf meets nature's finest backdrop. So grab your clubs and join us up at Macklemore. The Keep is open and it's waiting for you. Okay, now back with me is my all-time favorite player and a member of the Steelers Hall of Honor, and that is Greg Lloyd. One of the many things that I appreciate about Greg is he's always been open, honest, and he tells it like it is. I've been blessed to have Greg as part of the show going back 9 years now, and in fact, today is the 15th time that I've been blessed to spend some time with him. For those who don't know, let me remind you a little bit about his background. He's from Miami, Ohio, and played his college ball at Fort Valley State down in South Georgia, where he was a 3-time All-Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference selection and was 3-time defensive MVP. His senior season, he was the Conference Player of the Year and a first-team Sheridan All-American. He was a 6th-round draft pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1987, and he played in the league from 87 to 1998, all in Pittsburgh except for his last season in Carolina. He was selected to 5 straight Pro Bowls from 1992 to 1996. He was the AFC Defensive Player of the Year in 1994. He's a member of the Steelers' all-time team, and like I mentioned, he was inducted into the Hall of Honor in 2020. He's been fantastic every time that I've had the privilege of spending some time with him, and I couldn't be more honored and thrilled that he is back with me again this week here on Next on the Tee. Hey, Greg, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Chris, man. Thanks for having me for 15th time, bud.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in, Greg, because things with the Steelers, and particularly on the defensive side of the football, are not going as designed. I remember back in training camp, Mike Tomlin was talking about this team and its defense being potentially an historic defense, brought in and re-signed some aging veterans, and as everybody knows, they're a highest-paid defense in the league. I'm curious to get your thoughts on what you've seen and where you think things might have gone south.
That's a tough one. You know, it's hard to talk against. You know, I'm a straight arrow guy. It's hard to talk against them because I still bleed black and gold. But okay, the games that I have watched, and this is what I've had said to everybody: you cannot have one player that everybody counts on to do something. and expect the team to be successful. All I got to do as an offensive coordinator is take T.J. Watt out of the equation. Now beat us with whatever else you got. And that's what every team has done. And it's showing up that all these signs that they had, Patrick Queen, I mean, I don't know what he did in Baltimore, but he sure as hell is not doing it in Pittsburgh. Joey Porter Jr., like him, but he's not first-round draft choice in my draft. I play with the likes of a Rod Woodson. So he's not in that category yet. Has the potential, but he's not playing up to that yet. Woody came out right away and went to the Pro Bowl his first year and missed half of the season as a punt returner, contributing, you know. And then, you know, you've got who else? They just get this kid Dugan. Now, I have nothing bad to say about this kid because this kid's from my hometown. His mom, I know his mom. His mom and I went to school. So,
Wow.
So I like this kid. Yeah, his mom and I went to school together, went to high school together. She was a serious basketball player and everything. So, yeah, so a good kid, you know, good lineage there. But the rest of them are who? I mean, you know, we can talk about the big guy, Haywood. You know, I played against his dad, you know, and stuff like this. But, I mean, you let a quarterback talk you out of your game. You know, I mean, he'll tell you, you know, when everything gets settled down and goes, he'll tell you, I mean, you're better than that. I mean, if you want to make a quarterback shut up, hit him in the mouth. That's how you make him shut up. You don't make him shut up by after play over with you. Yeah. You hit him in his mouth. You know, when you get the opportunity, hit him, take that 15 yards, slam his ass on his face, whatever you got to do. I know it's different than when we played. I know you got to go back there and, you know, and lay a mat down and then, you know, give him a pillow and shit and I know you got to do all that. But you know, if you want to shut him up, hit him in his mouth. That's what you got to do to him. When he takes off running, you know he's gonna run. Hit him in his mouth. Then, you know, you can talk smack. But the defense right now, like I said, they're not playing together. And like I said, when they take T.J. Watt out of the game, when Watt has like maybe a sack or half a sack or something, a tackle for a loss in the backfield or fumble, when he's only having one of those per game, somebody else got to step up. And that's what's happening right now. I mean, I couldn't tell you across the line, other than the names that I mentioned, who the players are, because nobody's stepping up and saying we're gonna get it done, you know. And again, Chris, that's the same defense, bro, that we implemented in '92 when Cowher got there. They just dumbed it down a lot, you know. It's got dumbed down a whole lot, but it's the same defense. I mean, you can sit and look at it and go, why are they turning the corner? Why are they turning the corner? If you got back and forth, how do you let somebody turn the corner on you when you got back and forth? I don't care if you got to line up a yard outside of the guy and then go and, you know, jump up and go up the field. You make it cut back to all your help, but it's like, I don't get it. And it's not just them. There's a lot of other people, you know, that I see doing it in the league. But it's just disconcerting for me to watch it because I played it and I know it. Other people might think, oh, well, you know, this, that, and the other. But I just think that they are, you know, I mean, I don't know if they ever got it together. I mean, you know, even playing against teams that I think that they should be playing against teams that, you know, you played against a team who had dang near all of their offensive linemen hurt, and they beat you. They went up and down the field like, you know, I mean, like Sherman did when he came through Atlanta back in the day, you know. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, they just marched up and down the field, and you would never think that the guys that were hurt on the opposite end of the field, you know, the two tackles and stuff like that, they were claiming that they were starting. You would never think that they were hurt because that's what you're supposed to. You're supposed to take advantage of that, and I don't think the Steelers did it. So, I mean, again, I know a lot of finger pointing and stuff is going at Tomlin, but did you ever see Tomlin put on a uniform? Did you see him put on a uniform and run out there on the field?
I did not.
See him do it?
I did not.
I didn't either. So, I mean, coaches don't play. Coaches coach. That's what coaches do. Coaches coach. Coaches give you the information on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. You practice it and you go over it. And by the time the game gets there Sunday, coaches, you know, they have that little cleanup on Saturday to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. But coaches stand on the sideline. They call plays. It's your job to execute them. So, you know, everybody wants to point the finger at Tom. Tomlin ain't blocked a kick. He ain't sacked nobody. He ain't two-gap nobody. He ain't caught no passes. He ain't dropped no passes. It's not him. You know, he's been doing this for what, 17 years, 19 years, however long he's been doing it now. He's been doing it for a while. But the thing about it is this team has to have some leaders that have to be able to go somewhere and step up and say, hey, guys, come on, we're better than this. You know, we're better than that. You know, I mean, that's the thing. I don't see the leadership on the team stepping up and say, I mean, you know, I know it's frustrating. Guys want to be, and it's going to be frustrating, you know, when you're not winning and you think you should be winning. Because right now, offense is struggling. When offense is struggling, that's when the defense has to, you know, you got to grind, you know. And you know, I can tell you this. I've been through some, you know, I mean, you go back and look at the history of when we was playing and what our offense was doing and what our defense was doing. You know, we just tell our offense, hey, if you give us 17 points, they won't win. But that doesn't come from us being arrogant, which some people will say. It's like anything. You know, ask anybody, what's the difference between hoping and expecting? You've heard me say this before, right?
Yep.
What's the difference between hoping and expecting? When you hoping, you ain't did the work. But when you expecting, you've done the work. So when you expect, you can be as cocky as you want to be. You can be as cocky as you want to be when you expect it because you know what's about to take place. You know where you fit in the defense. You know when the ball snaps where you're going to go. And I don't see it happening. It's like to hear people say, and it kills me when I hear this, you know, and I don't say it kills me, but it irks the hell out of me when I hear, oh, the Steelers are known for starting slow. Why? We didn't start slow. We didn't start slow. With the defense, it was like we were hoping every time that the offense they would say, no, give them the ball, let our defense start so we can set the tone. Let's set the tone and see how it's going to be. We're not going to start slow. I mean, if we did start slow, it's going to be a bad day. If we start slow, it's going to be a bad day. You know? So it's like, hey, listen, man, let's get out here. Let's get after these guys. Let's set the tone for the offense. And then we go to the sideline. If the offense go over there and throw interception, I had this conversation with the money. It's also coming off the field. And it's so funny. You can remember stuff like this. And I can't remember where I put my keys at. But I'm coming off the field. It's funny, Chris. I come off the field one game, and they had thrown the interception, which is, you know, something that they did a lot of times back then. And so I think OD was quarterback in there. And the money and I passed each other. And, you know, nicest guy in the world. Love him to death. He goes, come on, Brother Greg. You know, we're going to get better. You know, we're going to get better. You guys hold him. And I turned around and looked at him. I said, hey, Dirk. I called him Double D. I said, Double D. I said, listen, they're not going to score. I said, and by the way, nobody come to see y'all anyway. They came to see us. I said, they come to see us play. They come to see you guys play. And that was confident. That was the confidence. And it was like, it was real talk because it was like, nobody came to see our offense. But they came to see our defense, not people that, you know what, out. That's what they came to see. And that's what we did. And it's like, you intercepted the ball and got it on the 15. Y'all kicked the 12. Y'all kicked the 27 yard field goal. Because we're not letting you in the end zone. Not because we say we're not going to let you in, because we know that that's how we were going to play. We knew that if we went out there and we took that momentum back, we were going to do it. Same thing, you know, you go back to Super Bowl 30. 2 interceptions, one down to the 3, one down to the 8. They get 10 points out of it. Got the number 1 offense in the league versus the number 1 defense in the league. Ball's on the 3, they score a touchdown. Ball on the 8, they kick a field goal. I mean, you can't ask us to do much more, but we got to have somebody win score point. So it's a lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure that the guys that are supposed to be in leadership position, it's easier. You know, you'll see your leaders with the Steelers now. What you'll see is you'll see the guys who are leaders. You'll see them trying to come up with solutions. The guys that are not leaders, they'll be the guys that will be talking about the problem. So the solution is something that they have to come up with. You and I can't say it because we're not there. We don't know what it is. We just know what we see. We don't know what is behind what we see. Why is it that we can't stop a pass? Why is it that, you know, it's 3rd and 7 and we lined up freaking 11 yards deep, you know, stuff. You know, that's a coaching thing. I don't know. You know, it just makes sense to you and me that if they ain't got the 7 yards to get, why am I lined up 11 freaking yards deep? You know?
Right.
So just little stuff like that they got to go work on. And it's like, it doesn't take, you know, a really smart person or person to know football to figure this kind of stuff out. But as a team and as a unit, they're going to have to come together these last however many games that they have if they want to, do something. And then, I mean, if they're playing like they're playing and they go 8-8 and they just happen to get in the playoff, it's going to be that team that lose the first round, in the playoff.
Right.
They're going to be that team because I don't see them headed toward we're getting better. I don't see them doing that. I mean, and that's going to be a big problem for them. I mean, New England playing really well. I mean, for a team that's been, I mean, they weren't in the basement for a very long time after Brady, but they had been in the basement for 2 or 3 years since Brady left there. Or how many years he left there? And now they're back out of it just that fast. The Steelers have players in place that just, like I said, something's missing. We don't know what it is. Who do we talk to find out what it is? I don't even think having a conversation with people that don't play the game, I don't think that's important. I think the guys that are playing the game have to go in and go behind doors, get the coaches out of the way, and they just have to have a meeting of the heads and say, hey, listen, here's what we're doing, and you got to go out and you got to do the practice thing. I think we won so many games in practice, it was unreal. And I can't make people understand that, and I know the practices are different now, but you can set the pace. You can get your other teammates to, hey, listen, let's pick this pace up in practice a little bit. I'm gonna hit you a little bit. I'm gonna hit you. You might not like it, but I'm gonna hit them shoulder pads a little bit. Go tag them. You might not like, and it might be some inner fighting and stuff to go on to get them to do whatever it is they need to do. But whatever it is that they're doing, right now, it's not the answer. You and I both know that.
Right. So there's a lot to unpack that you just said there, and there's some things I want to get further perspective on. You talked about things that they can't stop. I mean, the Bills ran the same play as T.J. Watt said, and Tony Romo said on the broadcast. They ran the same play 20-plus times, and they never could figure out how to get him on the ground. How in the world does that happen when you know they're running the same play and you still are unable to stop it ever?
Well, it's will. I mean, you're going to tell me that, and listen, there is an amount of money that you can pay a guy, and you expect him not to be able to say they run the same freaking play. And I think I want to swear so bad, I'm kidding, but I'm holding out. It's like they're running the same freaking play, guys. And you guys are supposed to be making all this money, and you can't stop it, okay? I mean, I get it. The DC gonna put you in the best possible defense he can put you in, but you know what they're running. Talk to your DE. Hey, man, move down a little bit. When they do, and listen, I can tell you so many times how we have had to make adjustments because at the end of the day, we go back to what we said. Coaches coach, players play. Who's out there seeing this? I'm experiencing this. And coach is trying to run a play. I'm going, hey, coach, why don't we, and then I go, hey, he don't want to hear it because he wants to be okay. I go to my guy. I say, listen, they line up in that offensive play again. Up the field, I'm coming underneath you, Kurt, until, okay, you just scrape outside because it's going outside. I promise you it's going outside. So we got to do that is clean up everything inside. So all he got to do is a free time. You have to be able to do that. And whoever can make the adjustments the fastest wins. That's the name of the game. Everything ain't etched in stone all the time. Coaches want it to be that way, but sometimes you got to be a coach on the field. If I'm a $100 million guy and everybody's expecting me to do some shit, I gotta make an adjustment on the field. I gotta tell somebody else, say, listen, man, it's 3rd and 7. Why frick are you 12 yards deep? All the guy got to do is take off running, stop, turn, catch the ball, first down. Come on, let's get it together. So it's stuff like that you have to do. And it may look like that you're, what you saw, what's your cat over there or with the Raiders, Crosby. Like he's getting mad and he's talking to guys that are like he wants to. Yeah, he pissed off. He's a good player. He's like, hey man, I'm tired of losing. It feels like I'm out here. I can't do it by myself, and he can't. He knows he can't do it by himself. That's why he pissed off. But he can't look good, and he's not going to look good. That's the thing about it. You can't do it by yourself. T.J. Watt can't be T.J. Watt without those other 10 guys. Because all I got to do is line up and hit him. I put another tackle over there off the ball, pretending to be a tight end. I can put a back, a foot, whoever over there, and every time he comes, we're going to hit him every time. Everybody's on that side. Make sure you hit number 90. Let these other guys that we don't know nothing about, let them beat us. And they can't do it. And that's the difference in the game. They're taking out their so-called, best player, and there's nobody else there to get it. What is the other kid on the other side over there, 41? He starts with an H, I think. But anyway, I mean, it's the difference in the game, man. It's like you got to be able to stop the run. That defense is predicated on blitzes and showing disguises after you stop the run. When you stop the run in that 3-4 defense, you open up your blitz defense. That's why we would call Blitzburg back in the day. We didn't blitz every game because there were some games we playing against the Ravens and people like that. I mean, they want to run the ball. We getting down and dirty with them. We want to blitz them, but it's like, hey, listen, right now we're stopping them, and let's just keep stopping them. Let's just keep stopping them. But there's some games where you go, all right, we got whatever they're doing under wraps right now. Now let's open up our defense and have some fun. Can't have no fun if you can't stop a simple play that they run. Let's run it 10 times to the right, and they go to the huddle and say, same play, left side. Okay, next time, same play, right side. It's like, God, come on, And like I said, we're sitting here. It's Wednesday. We can't call it Thursday, but it's 3 or 4 days after the game. And some people can sit there and go, oh man, they should have. No, these guys have to figure it out, man. And like I say, the coach's job is to put you in the best defense that they can possibly put you in. Your job is to execute it, But at some point, and I will say this, at some point, if I'm a coach, I've got to get in the defense where I can stop the run. I don't care if I got to put 8 guys in the box. If I got to put 8 guys in the box or 9 guys in the box, so be it. I put 9 guys in the box so we can stop the run. But see, we could do that. Why could we do that when we were playing? You think we didn't have a shutdown corner in Rod Woodson and in Willie Williams? We had shutdown corner. I put Rod Woodson and Willie Williams against anybody back there. They didn't care who they were. They're going to make more plays for you than they're going to give up plays for you. Steelers can't say, I can't say that. Ask me who the other corner is, the Steelers guy. I don't know. I don't know who he is. I just know the one guy that, that he get beat, then he get hurt. Is he hurt or is he beat? Stuff like that. It's like, hey man, stand up and take your knock. I can tell you, man, you stand up and take your knock. When a guy beat your ass when the game's over with, somebody can tell you like, hey bro, I tell boys all the time, like, best freaking tackle I ever played against was Anthony Munoz. Kicked my ass until he decided to retire. And when he retired, I was happy. I was happy. I was happy he retired. But again, you don't get to be a 12 or 10-time Pro Bowler, automatic Hall of Fame because he earned that, and I know why he earned it. I know why he earned it. He handled me like I was a second grader, bro. But that's neither here nor there. But I don't know, man. I just think that I don't know. I just think the Steelers are going to have to, they're going to have some, some man in the mirror. They have to go look the man in the mirror and find out who they are. I still don't think they know who they are yet. They don't have who are they? Can they score? Is he going number 8? Is number 8 really the answer, for them on offense? And, number 4, is he really the answer for them on, catching? I don't know. Names are good, but, you got to show up and play. That's the one thing about being a top-tier player. Top-tier players show up. Top-tier players show up. Top-tier players find a way. Get double-teamed the whole deal. You find a way, to get it done. And like I said, this is one game, but it's been, how do we say? It's been leaning that way for how many games now?
Right.
And so, like I say, it's almost to the point where it becomes, when teams do this and guys play like this, it almost becomes coach killers. That's how people start questioning, should Tomlin go? Should he go? Like, okay, man, Tomlin hasn't had a bad season. Everybody's going to say that. Tomlin hasn't had a losing season since he's been there. There are a lot of coaches that have had losing seasons. So if you're going to talk about them, don't talk about him. He's had a winning season since he's been there. So he's having a bad season this year. He's having a bad season. And you go back over to the guy that's in New England. How many bad seasons he had in Tennessee before they let him go? All of a sudden, he's a genius. He went into he went into the science lab and he concocted some stuff and he brought it out there, and now he's a genius because he don't brought. It's not so much that. It's like these guys were probably headed that way. They probably had a few more pieces of the puzzle that they need to add to so they could be good, and they got it. And he just happened to be the coach they brought in. They could have brought you and me in there and probably could have done the same thing as coach. A lot of times it has nothing to do with coaches and it's players and how players interact with each other and how they respond to each other. And that's what the Steelers, I don't see them doing. I don't see them interacting amongst each other. Like everybody expected Cam to make a play. Well, who are the other guys that play? When Cam's not making a play, everybody's like, okay, it's time for TJ to make a play. Okay, well, TJ's not making a play. Who else got to make a play? And the same thing on offense. I mean, if number, what's his name, number 4? For
DK Metcalf.
If he just, DK. I mean, it's to me, I don't know. It's his mentality for what Pittsburgh has always had as wide receiver. His mentality is just different. But I just, I thought it was a surprise that they got him. But the thing of it is, if he's not making a play, who else they got to make a play?
You've talked about
number 80.
You talk about how players play and coaches coach, and we've talked about this in the past. But how many times when you guys were out there and maybe things weren't going exactly right, and Marvin Lewis called down a play and radioed into Kirk, and you called the play, and you looked at it and said, "No, we're not running that."
No, hell no, we're not running that. Because see, they'll do stuff like, because coaches, every coach, especially every DC and their OC, what do you think their ultimate is? Their ultimate is to be a head coach. So they called some shit down that they got, that we ain't even got on our wristband, and it's some stuff that we agreed to the week of to say that every time we got in this coverage or we got into this defense in practice, somebody screwed it up. Whether it was offside, whether it was a wrong stress, whether it was a, something. It got screwed up. So we come to the meeting on Saturday night and everybody's in agreement. Guess what? We're not going to run it. But we go out in the game and let's say we go up 17 points. Now everybody go, well, here's a perfect time to run that dumbass play that we keep screwing up in practice. Why don't we try to, you lost your freaking mind, because the thing of it is, we got dumb capers in our ear every freaking Monday morning talking about, we're 12 yards behind or 17 yards behind somebody from being the first defense. And I'm thinking, yeah, that dumbass defense we got in that we weren't supposed to, because the kids say that's what you say on the inside. You say it out loud. But what you say on the inside is, if we don't run that stupid ass play that y'all call from the sideline that got us 20 yards that we weren't supposed to play, we'd probably be first defense. So you think that. So now in your head, you got to go, okay, I know that coaches know that I respect them and they know that I play hard, but they also know that I want to win and I want to be I want my entire team, especially my defense, to be number one. So you're going to call something in the heat of the moment to try to make yourself look good. I'll take the heat for it when I get to the sideline. I'll take the heat for it. So you know what, Kirk, we're not running that base defense. And we hit it for 2-yard loss coming to the sideline. They're not coming to me. They know I changed that play. They're not coming to me. They're going to go ask Kirk, why'd you change that play? And Kirk ain't finna say my name or Kevin's name. He going to take the heat for it. That's why we boy. He's the young guy. He going to take the heat for it. He's the caller. I'm the captain, but he's the signal caller. So he going to call the play. And Kirk will sit there and go, oh, coach, I work contact. I could have swore. Whatever excuse he come up with. And then I just go down there and tap him on the shoulder and go, you know what? I tell him all the time, well, I'll play with you anytime. Anybody starts something, I'll play. Because that's what you do. He's got my back, but he know that what I did was the right call. He know what I did was the right call. He would like to do it, but he's too young to do it because he figured if he call that, they're going to take him out and put Jerry aside. So it's just different. They're not going to take me out of the game. They're not going to take Kevin out of the game. So it's different. But like I said, I don't know if those guys, like I say, but when you play the way we play, and you run around and you throw your body around and you do the things we do, coaches know that I can send these guys to do something. Sometimes they go screw it up, but 95% of the time, they're going to get there. So I'll trust them. And that's where these guys have to get. But you know what that comes from? That comes from being together for a while, man. I mean, we went through I mean, I think me and Woody got drafted same year, 87. Artie Nickerson. Then we built the team. We got rid of a bunch of guys and we built the team. You know, we had some Delton Halls in there. We had a bunch of good guys. We had some really good guys, but guys got hurt. Then we got rid of guys. Then we brought some more guys. Then all of a sudden, you know, like I said, we went from, I think one year we were down 21 points before the defense even got on the field playing against Cleveland. But it was like when we finally put our team together, and then Kyle came in and it's like, this is the defense you guys are supposed to be in. And it was like all the pieces we had were already there, but we needed one more piece. And we brought 91 over, and 91 was that crazy ass piece that we needed on the other side. And it's like, here we go. Here we go. See, now they can't double team me no more because they got him over there. And now they can't double team him because they got Bill. And then you can't double team both of us because you got 99 and 94. And so we had that kind of talent, you know, and that's the same thing they had when it was 05 when they made that Super Bowl run. They had so much talent at different positions that you can't focus on one person because everybody's getting after it. You know, you got defensive linemen that can get after it. You got outside, inside backers that can get after it. That's what we had. And that's why they went on and actually won. And until these guys come together and be like that, and those pieces are there, I don't know if it's a draft thing or it's a let's spend more time together thing. Right now, whatever it is that they're doing, it's not working. And I know it's pissing off a lot of stuff. Listen, my nephew, 10 years old, plays Little League ball in Miami. His mama, I got his mama and him ticket to the game this weekend. She was already taking him because he's from Miami. He wanted to go see the U play Pitt. So he went to the U Pitt game, and then we surprised him with tickets to the Pittsburgh Steelers game. So he thought that was it. He plays nose tackle, 10 years old, big kid, love him to death. And so I just wish he could have had a better, I'm sure he had a wonderful experience, but I just wish, the Steelers could have won the game. So for me, it's like, that's how I feel. I was like, if I'm going to a game, like Buffalo game, because that'd be a good game to go to. Let's see how, because, Buffalo got a good team. And let's see how they're going to react. Because, if you can stop 17, if you stop 17, you stop their whole offense. Their offense don't move without number 17. You stop 17, hit him in the mouth. I don't care. Somebody's got to be somebody. Somebody's got to be the one that's going to take that 15 and get that fine. Somebody's got to be that guy. Somebody's got to be that guy. Hit him in his freaking mouth. Let him go to protocol, concussion protocol. And then if he decides he want to come back out again, every time you go by him, act like you're going to hit his ass. Every time he goes down, you act like you get him gunshot. Them balls start coming out a little bit faster, a little bit higher, a little bit off key and stuff. But, that's what we did. I know you can't do it anymore, but that's the whole point of the game was intimidation. A guy like him would have lasted, playing against us? He would have lasted a half trying to run the football? Are you kidding me? I would have lost my whole paycheck trying to hit him.
Yeah.
That's how we played. That's how we played back then. But it's different now, and I get it. I mean, like I said, all the safety and all that other stuff and crap like that. But like I said, I heard Haywood say he's mad because he's protected. Like, who gives a shit, man? Hit him. What you gonna do? Hit him in between the whistles. Beat the guy in front of you. Hit him in between the whistles. He takes off running. Be that guy that comes over there and hit him before he goes down. Other than that, shut up.
You talked a minute ago about how hope. That doesn't work. You can't go in with hope. What you do in practice is what's going to show up on Sunday. And I know Aaron Rodgers had called out a couple of players after the Bills game, talking about showing up for film study, guys running the wrong routes. When he checks to this, you ran that instead of this thing. But, here we are. We're in week 13 into the season, and it seems like guys aren't either all in or they're just not focused. How is that possible?
Well, I mean, I guess it could be, you can say it's easy, but here's my deal. If I am defensive captain and I got a guy that keeps showing up to meetings late, you're going to know about it. And you're going to know about it before the game. How you going to know about it before the game? Because in practice, when we're going through practice and we warming up, I ain't going slow. I'm going to fasten my chin strap. When people see Greg fasten his chin strap, they go, oh, shit, he pissed off. Yeah, because I'll never fasten my chin strap when things are going well. I just, go through practice, hum. When I come out my chin strap practice, my chin strap snap, and I ain't talking to nobody, it's like I'm going to teach these young boys a lesson about not showing up late. I've been here for however many years. I can get there 15 minutes early, and you want to be late? Here we go. That's how we do it. And it's like it's the rite of passage. That's how you do it. And then you let them know the why behind it. And if they want to fight, we fight. And so you get them straight to let them know how. I don't know how they would do it now. I don't know if they want to, they have to text each other, send each other a freaking email. I don't know what they do now. Back then, that's what we did. You don't show up at practice on time. You come to practice, you gonna get hit. You come because if I find out one of the wide receivers and we doing 7-on-7, and he come across him, he gonna get hit. He gonna get hit. He gonna get tagged. And we're going to tag him and help him up and hope he get able to get up and swing so that, we can let him know that, hey, listen, man, this thing called team is bigger than you. And when you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, this is what happens. It's a rite of passage. So I don't know what they have to do. I don't know what they have to say other than send their asses home, get rid of them and get somebody else in there that wants to play. But you would think, Chris, after 13 years, 13 weeks, that these guys would have it down. You would think that. You would think that they would be thinking, hey, man, I want to make the playoffs. Hey, man, I want, because see, next year ain't promised to nobody over there. Even though you got a contract, it ain't promised to nobody over there. Tomorrow morning, this afternoon, ain't promised to none of us. The way people are dying and falling and having this and having, it ain't promised to you. So why not, when I got this stuff on, why not try to be the best at it? Why not go as hard as I can go with everything I got until I decide, or until injury decide, I can't do this no more, or age decide I can't do this no more. Why not? And that's the difference between those guys who are top tier and those guys who are just there to, collect the check. And there's still some guys around there like that. But see, we would weed them out. We weed them out in training camp. We weed them out in training camp right away. He's like, he's not here. He's not here to try to be part of this team. He's not here to try to be part of it. He wants something different. He wants to go around and let everybody know that he playing, he's looking for this and look. You weed their asses out. But at week 13, and guys haven't figured it out yet, I mean, like I said, that to me now, that's a coach move. That's a coach move. That's when the coach has to go look at and go, you know what? Maybe we got guys on the practice squad that would benefit us better right now because they only make it X amount of dollars. How much enthusiasm, how much get up and go, how much on time would this guy have if I brought him up from the practice squad to take this guy's spot over here who's taking being on the team for granted, So it's just there's a lot of different variables there, man. I can't put my hands on it because I've never understood it. I never had to go through that with anybody. I mean, I've had guys show up in my huddle smelling like Jack Daniels and Wellers and all that shit. I've had guys show up in my huddle like that, but it's like, okay. And so my thing is that we're going to run it out of him until he throw his guts up. That's what we're going to do. But at the same time, I got to protect him from coach. I got to go, hey, listen, don't you even get near coach today, and stuff like this right here. And, but it's like, come on, that's dumb. But he's a good player, so you want to protect him. And that's what you do. That stuff don't never make it to coach. It don't make it to the news and all that stuff like that, but it happens. But that's a good player. A guy that's not a good player, like you said, you're like, you don't want to say you go and snitch, but you might still tell him don't go in front of coach, but like if he does, you'd be like, good, because he was garbage anyway. And that's a term I'm trying to refrain from, but it's like the word garbage. It's like what I saw, both sides of the ball, Pittsburgh, one word, garbage.
So you talk about
it's garbage.
About your chin strap and whether you fastened it or not. But as I recall, in training camp, you had the chin strap on and you were going full speed all the time because, like you said a minute ago, you wanted to weed out the guys that didn't want to be there or didn't want to do what was necessary, right?
But this is training camp when we get ready to, we know it's our time. We're talking about warm up. Like when we do warm up and we do individual drills, we hit each other. I'm talking about one guy that's a linebacker that's in my group that shows up and he, inebriated or and it's like, oh, okay. So this how you, and so, usually in warm up, Kevin and I would do like 1 or 2 drills and we stop. Like, listen, bro, we got a game on Sunday. Y'all young boys take that stuff. I did it when I was young. I went through all the drills and backed up and looked like we ran half of the stadium. And you look at the guys like, dude, man, we got a game on Sunday. They were wearing our asses out already on Wednesday, So you have to learn. You got to learn how to practice. But my thing was, most of the time I had my chin strap on. So, we would get in drills where we got to do, over the bags and tackle each other and over the bags and hit each other. And we just kind of ho-hum it, like what? But when my chin strap is fastened and I'm doing individual drills before practice, it's on. Everybody know he pissed off now. I don't know who it is, but they be start telling people he pissed off. I don't know who he pissed off at, but it's go. But yeah, in practice, it's one speed. You got one speed. And, I had to get my buddy Kevin the same way. He's like, hey, bro, listen, let's show these boys what we're about now. It's like, if Coward stops practice, if he stops practice, why are we doing this? We're doing our job. If he don't stop practice, we ain't doing our job. And we get to going, man. We get to tagging people and hitting people and stuff. And whistle blow, 4 or 5 plays in, whistle blow. And you got to hear that, hey, we are not playing the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday. Guys, kind of go a little easy. I'm like, y'all crazy. Y'all going to go easy. I'm going to go stand on the sideline. That's how I felt. If we're going to go easy, I'm going to go stand on the sideline. But he was talking to me. I know he's talking to me, stuff like that. But it's like, okay, so if I go 5 miles an hour all week long, and then come Sunday, you want me to go 100 miles an hour. How am I expected to go 100 miles an hour if I've never been 100 miles an hour? Does that make sense to you? So if I'm going 100 miles an hour all the time, then guess what? Come Sunday, you expect me to go 100 miles an hour and then, some more. So it just makes sense. And I know we're saying it like this, but I can say that. I can't, you and I can talk about it all day long. We can't fix what's wrong over there. Those guys are going to have to come together and decide that 11 guys playing like one guy out on that field. That's how they're going to do. A lot more talking. I don't see them talking. I don't see them communicating. All I see is that everybody's trying to make a sack. Everybody's trying to make a play, but nobody's talking. Nobody's saying, hey, the tight end is off. Oh, here comes that same play again, and everything. And watching just in case they throw it back to the other side. That's stuff we did. But that came from also, Chris. We did a lot of film watching without our coaches. We did a lot of film watching without our coaches. Early in the morning, we watched film as a unit. We made it mandatory that I starting 11. That starting 11, we got film at time. The young boys, if y'all want to come in there, you probably can't do it now. They probably fire you. But there's a little bit of hazing. Bring us breakfast, bring donuts, bring sandwiches, whatever you want. You bring the breakfast. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit here and watch film, and we're going to call plays. LeBron, make a call. LeBron makes a call. Everybody makes their adjustment, next play. And by the time Marvin and them come in there and they call a real meeting, and they come in there and I said real meeting. But by the time Marvin and them come in there with the real time and the real meeting that they got on the program for the day, we've already watched it and gone over it. So everything that they're saying, we already know it. And we just, we'll correct them on some stuff, get out on the field. And then they start going, you guys watched that film? Yeah, we watched that film this morning, 8 o'clock. These ain't tonight. You're like, oh, okay. And so, what does that do? What did we just do? We just made his job freaking easy. So why does Marvin and Dick LeBeau and Dom Capers and all those guys that were all of our fit, how did they get to go and be head coaches? Because of what we did. Marvin left. Marvin I don't even think Marvin ever played football a day in his life. But he left us and went and became the D coordinator for the Ravens, and then become the Cincinnati Bengals head coach. Coach LeBeau, Hall of Famer, man, class guy, and he could coach anywhere. Just who he is. Joe Cool is what I call it. But same thing, he leaves, goes to be D. I think he stayed being D coordinator for a while after Dom left, and then he goes to be head coach. Dom Capel leaves as D coordinator, goes to be head coach at Carolina. So it's there, but it's because of the players that they had around them, and that makes a big difference, and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on with this new league and these new players and their new minds. I just know that if it ain't winning, man, then there ain't the amount of money that you can pay me to lose and be 2-8 or be 2-10. hey man, you can't pay me. I don't want to be on a team like that. You know, I don't want to be on a team like that. I want to be on a team that's just, you know, we 500. I mean, we can either week we can lose or we can win. We can lose or we can win. No matter who we're playing against, how bad they are, their record is. It's just predicated on, you know, what we doing. And I think that's what the Steelers got to get back. Steelers got to get back to playing hard-nosed, running downhill football, hitting people in the mouth, you know, tackling people. Tackling is poor all around the league. It ain't just Pittsburgh Steelers. It's poor all around the league. But you got to get, you know, the guys that are good at it, or the guys that are going to be top, you know, they're going to be top of it. What do you call it? They're going to be the guys that are going to be at the top of, you know, first defense, second defense, third in defense. They're the guys. Those are the guys who tackle well, you know, and, you know, instead of coming up and putting a shoulder on the guy, thinking you're going to knock him down and all that stuff. I'm so sick of looking at that. It's unreal.
Yeah, so I see that all the time, Greg. Guys coming in and want to lay a shoulder on a guy who then bounces off and then gets another 10 yards. What happened to the lost art of tackling, wrapping guy up and getting him on the ground?
Just wrap him up. Wrap him up, hold him up till I get there. You know, that's what we used to be saying. Oh, Chris, bro. I mean, bro, we used to do stuff like that. Be like, hold him up. We running, trying to get there. Hold him up. We try to hit him, you know, and stuff like that. So it's like, because it was fun for us. It was fun for us, and we made it fun. And so I don't know. Maybe they have to get back into. They got to come up with a way to just make this thing, you know, play the game. Play it with all integrity. Play it with, you know, the utmost integrity you can play it with. Have fun. You gotta have fun when you do it. If you ain't having no fun when you do it, man, you see the guys that are winning. The guys that are winning, they're having fun. They're having fun. Even if they lose, when they lose, they pissed off because they go, man, you know, that was not the expectation. The expectation wasn't a loss there. The expectation was a win. But they're having fun, you know, doing it. And I just think the Steelers got to get back into it. And I ain't talking about having fun losing. I'm talking about having fun, running around, hitting people, making plays, and, and just getting back, like I said, to Steel football, man. And you want to talk about black and gold. You want to talk about Blitzburg defense. You want to talk about, you know, all that. This defense is nowhere near that. I don't know what they were talking about in training camp or whatever. But my eyes haven't seen it yet. Has yours?
No.
Okay. All right. Just talk. Maybe next year, but this year, no. I mean, if they make a run for it right now and go to the Super Bowl, you and I would probably have to eat our shoes and stuff like that right there. And I'll sit here and put mine in the pot and do the best I can eat. But until you show me something different than what you're putting on the field, then, I mean, this is what everybody's going to come up with. And it's like, say again, I'm still that guy that when I hear people talk bad about my Steelers, I have to say to them, all right, you know, you want to get a uniform, go out there and put it on, see if you can do better. Now, I know they're playing like really bad right now. They still my Steelers. You know, it's like your kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's my kid, and I know he do some crazy. But don't talk about my son. You don't get to talk about. I get to talk about my son. You don't get to, and that's how I feel about it. But it's like, you know, we brothers here, so we get it. We got the same. We have the same interest. We want the Steelers to do well. We bought in. We have stock in them, and we want them to do well. We want to see them do well. And when they don't do well, it's like I can't defend them. You feel me?
Yep.
You can't defend them. I can't defend them. I can't defend. It's like stupid. You can't. And I'm not calling them stupid. Please don't say that. But we can't defend how you can't stop the same damn play 20 times. We can't defend that. How can we defend it when we sat and watched it ourselves? I can't defend it. You know, if they can't defend it, you and I can't defend it.
Right.
So it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but it's they got to get better. They got to get better, man. Or, you know, my thing would be, like I say, if I'm coaching, you know, I think you start taking some guys and said, okay, man, we got to make some moves. You know, I would love to see the kid over with the Raiders. I would love to see that kid come over. Josh Crosby.
Max Crosby, yeah.
I like to see Max come over and put a Steeler uniform on and have him on one side and Watt on the other side. But you got to add. Here's what you got to do then. The ball's going to be coming out quick. So guess what you got to have now? You got to have some freaking lock down corners. You got to have some corners that ain't afraid to get on the guy when it's 3rd and 6 and he all the way up in his face and he going to make him earn it as opposed to he gonna line up 10 yards, just give him that quick little in front of him. So yeah, it pisses me off when I see that. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're talking about it and stuff, but they got to get through this year, man. And I just pray that they can do it, and Tomlin will remain, head coach there and things of that nature. But I say, you can fix the defense, and then we ain't talk offense yet. That's a whole nother series.
Exactly.
That's another show there, bro.
Yes, it is, and I hope I get the privilege of spending a little more time with you, perhaps later on in December or early January, talking about that side of the football as well. I want to go back to something that you mentioned earlier, and that is that the fans come out, Steelers fans come to the stadium to watch the defense. And Ben Roethlisberger talked a little bit about this in his podcast this past week, where he would get the young running backs together, whether that was Willie Parker back in the day or Le'Veon Bell or Rashard Mendenhall, and he would tell them that the fans have come out to watch you run the football and the defense play. And it seems like you knew that Steelers fans are out there for old-style football. Watch the running backs run and watch the defense hit.
That's right. That was it. I mean, it was like, that's real talk. I mean, but that's when you, when everybody are, listen, man, when them guys came after us, it took them 10 years. They put that thing together in 10 years, and they went on that run. They was putting them pieces together. It was like, oh my goodness gracious. It was like, I mean, what is it, Woodley and Porter and Harrison. There was another one there, and what's the guy in the middle right there? Starts with an F.
James Ferrier.
Ferrier. When them boys started playing, man, they started flying around. I was like, all right, okay. Now you can smile again because you're going, all right, they playing. You're like, they playing. They can't just block this guy. They got to do it. It's like, okay, they playing now. So, but the thing of it is, that's how it became, let the offense show up. I feel like that. If only you could do it, if was the fifth, like that, we all be drunk, right? But taking Ben Roethlisberger and Jerome Bettis with Timmy Lester and them boys blocking for him. You take the weapons that he had with the AB and all those guys. You take that offense and then take our 92 through 96 defense. We win 4 Super Bowls back to back to back. Can't nobody beat us.
Yeah.
They can't stop us on offense, and they're not going to score on defense. Can't nobody beat us. But that's the madness behind this game, or the science to this game, or the greatness to this game, is that it's hard to find a team where the offense and the defense are number one. Offense is number one, and their defense is number one. You're going to find a team where they got a good offense and a not so bad defense that can keep them in the game. Go back to when the Ravens won. The Ravens had a number one defense. Offense was and what they tell Trent Dilfer. They didn't tell Dilfer, don't lose it for us. Don't lose it for us. Don't throw no passes, hand the ball off, let Ray Lewis and the defense win this game. And that's what happened. Because nobody was there to watch Trent Dilfer. Everybody was there to watch Ray Lewis. Everybody was there to watch Ed Reed. They were there to watch them boys, because they knew that they were a shutdown defense. And they knew that if push came to shove, these were the guys that were going to make the difference in the ball game. And so, I've experienced that. I've experienced it. But it's tough when you don't have, we got a quarterback, and we have a quarterback slash something. That's what Cordell. We got a quarterback slash, wide receiver slash running back, and then we got OD, and it's like, okay, we got, yes, Big Pitt and Ernie Mills, two of the best wide receivers, man, that we had. They can run routes on anybody. We just need somebody to throw it to them. That's all we need, And Lord knows we gave Eric Green up, but my goodness, when Eric Green first got there, he was like this big old kid. People in Pittsburgh act like they never had no tight end like that before. Eric Green was this number 80 before. This number 80 was a tight end. Right. Eric Green was that guy. Ass was as big as the fucking front of a Volkswagen, And he was just he's just an extra big old, but he was fast. He could catch the ball, and then, wasn't very strong, but when he wears that butt on him, when that butt got underneath it, he gonna move some people. He's gonna move some people. But it's like we had that, but we just didn't have everything to go along with it. Before there was Jerome Bettis there. I mean, we had a Bam Morris and we had a Barry Foster. Barry Foster led the league one year, and we had that, but we didn't have nothing else to go with it. You understand?
Yeah.
And that was the difference. So I mean, I get it. What's happening, but defense is what Pittsburgh is known for more than offense. I mean, listen,
yep.
man. I relish and I honor and I respect Franco, God rest him. I respect Rocky. I respect all those guys and Swanee and Saul. I got a chance to be friends with all of them. I got a chance to be friends with everybody. I got to know them, know in their heart, listen how they talk, take that on to the field, Joe, But then when it came to defense, it was like, man, are we ever going to, can we live up to that? Can we live up to Joe Green, Jack Ham, and Lambert, and Russell, and we got all the Mel Blunt and Donnie Schiff. I mean, everybody that I'm calling out is done their Hall of Famer. Can we live up to that? But we got to find a way to get back to where people are now talking about defense more than just Pittsburgh Steelers. And so that was a goal of mine, was like, let's get us back to people talking about our defense, man. And there's a price to pay. And the price is there is no off season. When the off season comes, we got to put the work in. And, and when the work goes in, when the season starts, that's when it shows up. And I think these guys are going to have to do something like that. I say, you don't want to compare yourself to somebody, but what you want to do, you want to be able to, you want to use them as a template. You know what I mean? So, we used the 70s and Joe Green, those guys, because Joe was still there. I got the, he was in my ear all the time. And so I just want to use what he was saying and things that they did. You want to use it as a template. We can't beat them. These guys won 4 Super Bowl. Those guys are idols. They're icons, And all we were trying to do is just, we were probably the tip of an iceberg when it came to them. But man, we got it done. We got it done. And so these guys got to find a way to reach down in their soul and find, what is it that they want to be known for? What kind of defense do they want to be known for? What do you want to be? I mean, and that's going to start with leadership. They talk about attitude. Attitude is a reflection of leadership, right?
Yes.
And so until the attitude shows up, the attitude is going to be lackadaisical until some leaders step up and say, I had enough of this, and that should have took place game 1 or game 2, not game 13 or 14. That should have took place a long time ago. And so they got themselves in a predicament right now. I just think that, they're going to have to, if they come out and they say, I don't even know who they're playing next or whatever, but I don't think that they have the capability to come back out and just overwhelm somebody. Because if you're the next team up and you've seen that play, what do you think they're going to see?
Yes. Yes.
What do you think they're going to see?
I would say a whole dose of that.
Yeah, when you do it, I would do it. I would go, hey, coach, we ain't even got this play in our offense, but we're gonna put it in there just for the Steelers. Why? Because they can't stop it. It just makes sense, It
Yes.
just makes sense, man. So that's why, man, you have to be thorough. You have to. It's like in martial arts, in teaching martial arts. One of the things that I've learned about, and trying to teach my young kids, it's like, so I'm naturally right-handed, but I'm more left-handed now than I am, right? Because I had to teach myself how to make my left hand work. Why? Because my left hand was my weakness. I don't work on my strength. I work on my weaknesses. My strengths are my strengths. My weaknesses I got to work on because I have sensed that I have it. I have somebody has, maybe got a point on me because I couldn't do something. So now I have to work on my weakness. My weakness is my left hand, maybe my left foot. But no longer is it my weakness. So it's almost like you become ambidextrous and throwing a punch, throwing a kick. So Steelers have to be the same thing. The Steelers going to have to figure out what their weaknesses are and work on their weaknesses. You know, whatever the strengths are, we don't work on our strengths that much. You know, I used to make kids, you know, all day long in class for 40 minutes in class. Anybody throws right foot, if you're right footed, if you throw right foot, 10 push-ups every time I see it. Next time, 20. I want you to throw on left foot. Why? It's because nobody wants to throw their left foot. And if you're right footed and people see you right footed, what are they expecting you to kick them with? Their right foot. And when you throw a left foot in there, the thing that you don't see is usually the thing that knocks you out, you know? And so that's what I was trying to get with them. Like, we're going to throw left so we can be amputated, so nobody can try to figure us out, you know, stuff like that. So the same with the still. I use the example as like, whatever they're good at, whatever their weaknesses are, they're going to have to make those things, work on those things and make them become their strength. And whatever their strengths are, they're going to make that even stronger so that they can lean on that when they need it and not have to lean on it all the time. And that, you know, like I said, I know it sounds philosophical, but it makes sense.
Yes,
it makes
does.
sense. And what are their weaknesses? They know. We don't know. Watching it, we'll say everything. You know, watching it, we'll say everything. But they know what it is. And I think the number one problem I think it's communication. I don't think they're communicating enough. You know,
really, it's still communication.
I still think they're not communicating enough. It's like, do you know how important it is when a team, you study film, and a team breaks the huddle and they get into a formation, and you've seen that formation all week long. And let's say you're playing left outside linebacker and I'm right. I'm screaming at you over there. Hey, Chris, it's that play. Watch tight end. Tight end's coming. That's why we take our hands and put everybody think we making strong arms. We're going wise off. They say, hey, it's coming. Tell my defensive line. And we might say, if it's a run, if it's a formation where it's a run, we may start screaming, you know, what's the sign of a run? You know, if something's running. We may say, dog or cat or whatever, all those things run. But if it's a pass, we might say hawk or some kind of bird or something like that. So we get everybody prepared to pin your ears back because this is a run. You get ready now. You're gonna have to manhandle somebody and stand there and two-gap somebody until we can get there and make this play. If it's a pass, get in your best stand so you can pass rush because it's a pass opportunity. If you got a pre-snap on that, oh my God, you have an advantage. But if ain't nobody talking, you got to figure it out. The big guys got their damn hand on the ground down there. They can't look up and see what the damn formation is. They trusting linebackers who's standing up and corners who way out there they probably can't hear. They trusting them to tell them what's going on. So are they doing that? I don't know. I really don't know. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen it. You know? So
yeah.
Like I said, it's little things, Chris. It's not a lot. It's not something, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I promise you it's not something that's ginormous. It's not something that's complicated. It's going to be one or two little bitty things that they need to do. And they got to do it at a speed, almost at the speed of light. That's how fast they got to be able to do it. And I'm talking about, you know, total disregard for bodily harm, kind of getting after. That's how they're going to have to get at it. I've done a pretty good job of not swearing. I know how to come, but it's like, we start talking football, I have to catch myself sometimes because their mouth gets real potty. But yeah, that's what they got to do. They got to play football and not care about their body. You know, throw that body around, man. That's what you do in the offseason. You working to get that body beat up so that you can recover, you know, about a month out and then start right back over again. That's what it's about. So beat it up. That's what you get paid to do. Beat that damn body up, man. And then when the season's over with, you go somewhere and get that recovery. And then about a month later, you're right back at it again because ain't no off season.
Right.
There's no off season. For professionals, there's no such thing. There's no off season. There just ain't no football being played, but there ain't no off season, you know, and stuff like that. Because again, if it was, and somebody said you traded and you sitting on your ass waiting for training camp to come, now you got to go somewhere and work out. Put it like that. See how that shit works out, right? You know, so you got to stay in shape. You got to stay in shape, you know. But it's like I said, man, it's small stuff, and I got confidence in them, man. I'm hoping that they'll look what I said. See, I'm hoping because I can't do the work.
Right.
But I'm hoping they'll pull it together and they'll go out and figure it out, man. And you know, they it's my team. You know, I love them. I love that black and gold. I love my man Mike T. You know, and you know, I just want to see these guys. You know, I just want to see them pull it together, man, and show everybody that they can be, you know, that they can be a, you know, a together unit, and they can go out there and they can actually stop the run. Because I'm telling you, Chris, if they can't stop the run, they're in for it, man. Everybody just gonna start running from the ball now.
Yeah, and they got the Ravens next and Derrick Henry. So.
Oh yeah. But see, I don't know. I can't predict. I won't predict. But yeah. But if I'm the Ravens OC, you think I ain't putting that play in?
For sure.
I'm putting it in. We're gonna run it. You're gonna say same play, left side. It ain't got no name. Same play, right side. That's what you do, man. But it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Now, let me ask you one more about stigma, right? Because you were a 6th-round pick. Now we got a kid on that we drafted in the 6th round as a quarterback. I know it's a little different, but we got a kid that was a quarterback that won a national championship last year. But everyone's pegged him with the 6th-round scarlet letter. Can't be any good. Drafted way down. Too many teams passed on him. Drafted late. I know I've talked to Carlos Emmons, who was a 7th-round pick. And Carlos talked an awful lot about how he wore that scarlet letter throughout his career. Everyone kept reminding he was a 7th-round pick all the time, even when he was a starter for the Steelers and for the Giants. You were a 6th-round pick.
Right.
I mean, is that stigma? Is that real? I mean, why do people care as long as you can go out and, you know, give you a chance to do the job? Someone has to give you a chance to do the job. They gave you a chance. You proved that you could do it. Why do we care where he was drafted until we see what he can actually do?
Well, I mean, I think that the people who are caring don't understand that where you get drafted at don't matter, because it's a matter of the heart. Something that they don't do at combine, something that they don't do at colleges when they go in and do these pro days, that they never test kids' heart. You don't know the heart of a person until the person is, you know, kind of got their backs up against the wall. And that's when you can tell what the heart of a person is. I mean, you know, somebody can throw up weight, somebody can run fast, somebody can jump high. All that's good. Put the pads on and let me hit him in the mouth a couple of times. He got the ball, let me hit him in the mouth a couple of times. Let's see if all that stuff that he did was he's the first, second, third. Let's see where that stuff goes. You know, and see, that's the difference. See, me, different. I was different because, and I like to think I was different. I'm pretty sure the other guys ever probably thinking like that. I was different because people was fucking with my school. And it was like, what Valley? What is that? Military school? They go, there's a D2 school. They're like, oh, I'm like, can I go Denzel Washington training day? Oh, you motherfucker. I'm gonna put that's how Chris, that's how I was. Like, oh, so you went to Nebraska and you went to Pitt and you went to Pitt and you oh shit, can't wait to get to practice. And that's how I started playing. I was lighting their asses up. David Lewis was like, hey, you all right? I like, this motherfucker over here talking about my school. I'm going to beat his ass up. And I mean, I ain't talking about fighting him. I'm just going to beat his ass every down I get. And, you know, Chuck saw that. And Chuck saw it. And he was like, we got something here. But let me tell you something. They got to steal. Because everything that I did in college said that I was a first-round draft choice. Everything. All my stats and everything. Against all the guys I got drafted. But because of where I went to school, you're going to have to come out here and prove yourself. Okay. So y'all bring in all these first-rounders, and they don't have to prove themselves? The Steelers are notorious for drafting garbage first-rounders and then getting rid of them. Look at the history. I ain't lying. This ain't something I'm lying about. You know, that's my team. Like I said, it's like my brother. I can talk about it. But they're notorious for that. So I say this about this kid. If the kid is drafted in the 6th round, most people who get drafted, what they do is we draft 6th-round people because, you know, we expect them to be contributors, but we're just giving them a little bit more time to develop. That's bull hockey. I think it's bull hockey because, I mean, Tom Brady stepped behind Drew Bledsoe. When Drew Bledsoe got hurt, where did Drew Bledsoe go after Tom Brady became the starter at New England. That big guy. Where'd he go?
Dallas.
Nobody fucking know. I know. I mean, what did he do with Dallas? I mean, what did he do? What did he do with Dallas? He was done. Once he was running the show, and we beat him up. He never beat us. New England never beat us while I was playing. We beat Drew Bledsoe's ass, and it basically tried to put his ass in a hospital. But the thing was, Tom Brady's 6th-round draft choice. He's 7-time Super Bowl winner. So I mean, you could always go to him and say, whatever. But this kid here that you guys got, I mean, you won't know until he gets a chance. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the answer for Pittsburgh, not at 41 years old. Come on. I don't think he's the answer. But it's like, neither was Russell. Russell Wilson wasn't the answer. And the kid that was backing him up, I thought they got him so that he would be the guy. But it's like, why y'all letting Russell do this? And Russell's not the answer for Pittsburgh. He doesn't even fit in well there. So I would say this, man. I'd say if the kid is good, Chris, he'll show up. If he's good, he'll show up. And I'm still trying to think, why would they put in this other cat who played a week ago before when Aaron got hurt? Who's the guy they brought in?
Mason
why
Rudolph.
Would you put Mason Rudolph? Why would you put Mason Rudolph in there and not put this kid in there? Give him a chance, And that's what I'm saying. So I don't see Aaron Rodgers being with the Steelers next year. Do you?
No.
I don't see him being with the Steelers next year. I don't. I think he's going to retire. I don't see him being with the Steelers next year. But I also don't see Mason Rudolph being the quarterback. I can't see it. Because if he is, then you and I are going to be having this conversation again next year. And I was like, boy, that's the sorry shit there. So it is what it is. So you got to get a kid a chance. The kid has to get a chance. And like I say, I think 6th-round draft choices, 7th-round draft choices are a great draft choice because there's no pressure. There's no pressure on you to come out right away and be elite. There's no pressure on you. It's those guys that they draft. Guys get drafted in the 1st, 2nd round. I mean, they're giving them big time money. So if you become a commodity, so if you got big time money, you got to show up. You got to play. You got to do something. You got to play. You can't stand on the sideline and talk about you still learning. Hell no. We draft 1st rounders to play. We do not draft 1st rounders to watch. That's what we got 6th rounders for. Okay? And so that being said, I mean, I don't know who the kid is. And what did you say his name was again?
Will Howard.
Will Howard. And he's from where? What school?
Ohio State.
Not that it matters. Oh, come on. So I think Will is probably just, biting his fingernails over there, probably going, boy, if they just give me a chance. And I mean, he might, but I don't see Mason Rudolph or anybody else like that. I don't see those guys there. I mean, guys can come in and win a game. I mean, but you played against a sorry ass team. When you won, the team that you played against was sorry as shit. So you can't do that. But there's a lot of stuff to be said, man. They got a lot of mending. They got a lot of spots and slots to fill on both sides of the ball. But they just got to get through this year, man. Don't get nobody hurt and stuff like this right here. But I think this year, instead of drafting for Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh just needs to go find some players. Some guys that are not happy with where they are, go find some players, bring them in there, teach them that defense, and just let them go. Let them play. Let them play. And stuff like that. I like to see that defense run around and, filling gaps like Palomua did and jumping over people and, hitting people and starting fights before the game gets started. I want to see shit like that again, man. Right now they are pussy. Can I say that? Yeah, I say it. That's what they're playing like. They're playing like pussies, bro. But I said it. I have to stick to it.
Greg, it is always a huge thrill to get to spend some time with you. I love it each and every time that we've done it. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to come back on the show. Next time, we'll talk maybe some offense, maybe talk a little golf, because I'd like to hear about your golf game. So we'll talk about that next time. I got it.
I'm gonna be playing indoors for a while until I can get up the strength to get myself back out there to hit a little bit. I won't make myself go up to the red tees yet. I want to go play, but it's like, if I play it, I'm going, I probably should start on them red tees just in case I'm trying to swing so hard, don't want this shoulder to pop out on me. But yeah.
No.
But definitely, man, we'll definitely get done, Chris. It's always good talking to you, man. Thank you for having me on the show, bro.
I appreciate you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you and your family. We'll catch up soon, Greg.
Same to you, my friend. All right, be well. Talk at you. All right,
that is the great Greg Lloyd, folks. It doesn't get better than that guy. Tells you like it is. There is no pulling a punch when you're talking to Greg Lloyd. And I love everything about the guy. He is my favorite player. I love the way he played. I love the motor that he had. I love the attitude that he brought. I love everything about what the guy did on the field and just the relationship that we've had over the last, like I say, 9 years, 15 times on the show. So you want to know what's going on? If you can talk to Greg Lloyd, he's going to tell you exactly what he thinks and exactly what he sees, and he's not going to pull any punches doing it. And that's a couple of things that I really love about him on top of the player that he was. But I've enjoyed it, and Greg's just fantastic. Sometimes your heroes don't live up to what you thought they would be like, and that is absolutely not the case with Greg Lloyd. He has lived up to everything that I could ever ask of him, and I appreciate him very, very much. He's meant a great deal to me, like I say, as a football idol, if you will, as a fan of the Steelers and watching him play in the 90s and how he played and all that sort of stuff. You get your football heroes, and then when you get to talk to him, it just mounts on top of that for how great he is and what a great guy he's been, and like I say, how good he's been to me, and I appreciate him very, very much. Look forward to the next conversation. We'll talk a little more golf, maybe talk on the offensive side. Hopefully we're talking about how well Will Howard is playing, if the Steelers will give him an opportunity to show what he can do. All right, my friends, it is time for me to put a bow on this very special bonus edition of Next on the Tee. My sincere thanks again to the great Greg Lloyd. Was I kidding about Greg at the top of the show? Was I kidding about his intensity? Was I kidding about how great he is? He is one of the all-time great Steelers, and of course, my favorite player. So thanks again to Greg. I've got another bonus episode of the show coming up for you, featuring two guys. My Goomba Rob Strano's son, Steve, joins me. He is busy diligently working to resurrect a tremendous putter company, Odie Putters, made famous back in the 1940s, 1950s by Odie Chrisman. Odie Putters won 5 of the 10 Masters from 1947 to 1957. And let me give you an idea of some of the legends who used to use an Odie putter. Tell me if this list is any good. Jimmy DeMeritt, Doug Ford, Jackie Burke Jr., Arnold Palmer, Bob Golby, Kerry Middlecoff, Ben Crenshaw, Tony Lima, Carol Mann, Mickey Wright, Babe Diedrich Saharias, Nancy Lopez, Chichi Rodriguez, and Gary Player, among others. Look, folks, obviously the quality of player that used to use an Odie putter was through the roof, and demand right now is going through the roof, speaking of that, because they are handcrafted just like they were 70-plus years ago by Odie Chrisman's son, now Odie Chrisman III. So go online to Odie, and it's spelled O-T-E-Y. They pronounce it Odie, but it's O-T-E-Y, and spell out 3, THREE.com, so you can check them out. Steve is full of energy and enthusiasm about the brand. You're going to really enjoy our conversation. Then I'm blessed to have the head coach of the University of Maine at Augusta, Doc Merrill, making his Next on the Tee debut with me as well. So you're going to hear about the tremendous season that his team had this fall, the tournaments that they competed in, including some back around my hometown of Pittsburgh, plus over at Penn State, the second-place finish they had in the Yankee Small College Conference Tournament, and the challenges that, as you can imagine, small schools like his are having retaining really good players now that we're in the NIL era. Plus, you also get some legendary stories like the time he met Arnold Palmer at the 1975 U.S. Open at Medina. Doc is an absolute treasure. You're really going to enjoy that segment as well, so I hope you'll come back and press play. I want to thank our friends, as usual, at the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review for hosting this show on their site. For coverage of everything going on in Western Pennsylvania, including your favorite sports, go to triblive.com. You can find this show by then clicking on the Sports Section tab right there on the homepage of the Sports Section. You're going to see us front and center there. Or if you click on Sports and then Podcast Network, you'll see the Next on the Tee logo. If you'll click on that, many of the most recent episodes from this season are right there for you as well. But you can find this show pretty much anywhere you get your podcast content. We're out there on Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, golfnewsnet.com. If you've got a favorite podcast site, click on the search bar, type in Next on the Tee. We're probably on that one as well. But as always, folks, my biggest thanks go out to each and every one of you for being the greatest supporters in the history of podcasts. I appreciate every one of you so very much. Until next time, hit 'em straight, my friends.
Thanks for joining Chris again this week on Next on the Tee. We hope you enjoyed the conversations as much as we did. Please share the show with your golf buddies and be sure to follow it on Trib Live or your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Thanks for pressing play and being part of the journey. We'll see you next week, right here, where the best minds in golf share their stories.